Welcome to the B2T show, where we empower Christian patriots with truth. This is Rick, your host. All right, here we are on the B2T show here on February 29th at 6 p.m. I got a couple awesome guests I'll introduce here in just a second. I think everybody pretty much knows who they are as they come on the show quite often, and they have, and Kirsten has her own show. We'll talk about that in a second. But I first wanted to just tell you about the topic and a few things going on and get through a sponsor, because there's fun things going on here. Coronavirus and China Insight. The China Insight is going to be really amazing on this. We both have Gene and Kirsten W. Kirsten W. has an awesome channel herself, so make sure you go on that. This video will be uploaded right on her channel too, and so you can find it there as well. Wanted to just really acknowledge a couple people who are on. Let me know where you're from. Look like Willie Fixit was on first. Cool. Talking about God bless. Hi, Rick, Gene, Kirsten. All right, I love it. I imagine that's one of Kirsten's followers. We'll talk about that in a second. Robert Clymer's on. We got all kinds of people on from all over the place. I really appreciate it. We got Gene being the moderator and the guest. He's so magical, he can do both. So and then so we got people from Michigan and Richmond, India, and we got people from Albuquerque, South Carolina. Thank you guys all for being here. Let's get rolling, because we have enough for 3 shows, and we're going to try to get it all in. We got North Carolina in the house, and Idaho, North Idaho as well. I grew up in Pocatello, Idaho, by the way, Vicky. Arizona, Florida. I love it. All right, so let me quickly show you where we are with Q. I always like to kind of make sure everybody knows. Like, it looks like he has not posted for a while here. The last one was this 3890 on February 25th. So I'm sure we'll get something soon, I would guess. I also want to just give a quick piece of news. Look at this. In Afghanistan, U.S. and Taliban signed historic peace deal hailed as Momentous Day. So this is just winning again, where Trump is being smart, trying to get people to rule themselves versus us trying to be the policeman of the world. I love it. Chris McDonald put this out here. I thought this was real interesting. SARS 2004, Avian 2008, Swine 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 2014, Zika 2016, Ebola 2018, Corona 2020. Common denominator, all election years. Wow. Hey, here's my sponsor. I wanted to show you guys this. This is interesting because I think you know that if you try to get an N95 mask right now, you can. They're way back ordered, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. And I think that this is an interesting thing, and they've got a limited supply, so we'll see. But they've come up with this package for us. That's probably overkill, but it's amazing. Look at this. It's the ultimate safety suit. So let me grab a little bit of what they've said here on this. Well, oops, let me get back. So this mask itself is probably worth the price of this bundle because of how rare they are now. I'll show you a little bit about it. But this basically is chemical suit oriented type things with gloves, as well as protection for your eyes from chemicals, as well as this mask. And the thing I wanted to focus on is the mask. If you look at this mask, if you look at an N95 mask, which many people recommend, you can't even get these. They're 6 weeks back ordered. What I ordered 3 weeks ago and it got delivered to me, it's completely out of stock. The only ones in stock I'll show you later, and they're 6 weeks, or I think 3 to 4 weeks back. Some of them are 6 to 8 weeks back. So this mask is actually, penetration percentage is even less, as you can see here. So with these 2 different tests. So the way you're going to go to, gosh, I apologize. I just realized this is the first time I've done this one, so just give me a second as I find it. But the actual website, I'm going to try to give you the links down below. UltimateSafetySuit.com. So UltimateSafetySuit.com is where you're going to want to go to. Again, UltimateSafetySuit.com. And what you'll do is, real quickly, because this is important time for this, you can get multiple suits to get the cost down as low as $83, and then you get an extra $10 off of that if you use right here in this coupon code, you're going to type in blessed10. Okay, that's going to give you another 10% off. So this comes down to almost a little over $70 a suit with a package, right? And those, the retail value of that mask is probably, I think it's $49 when I saw it on the retail app. So again, you're going to go if you're interested in this. I think it's probably the only place that I know of you can quickly get a mask, and that is at the ultimatesafetysuit.com. Okay, let's get going here. Let me bring up, I'm going to flip into a different view so I can see Kirsten W. Where are you? There you go. Now we can see you. How you doing, Kirsten?
Good. Great.
Awesome. That is great. We have to also have Gene on. Gene, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Rick. Thank you.
All right. So, hey, I think I don't think I'm going to introduce Gene because you think everybody knows him. The decoder, just awesome guy. He has a lot of people go backstage to hear from his awesome knowledge. He's done the DUMS decode, etc. Kirsten's grew up in Singapore, just has an incredible insight into this whole China issue and has a lot of firsthand knowledge of things that she's been researching. But Kirsten, would you just kind of introduce yourself for those people that may not know you yet?
Hi, I'm Kirsten W. I'm from Singapore, which is a British colony. So I'm not from China, but I do speak Mandarin. And, Singapore is 60% Chinese, 20% Malaysian, which is like Muslim, 10% Indian from India, and 10% Caucasian. And a lot of the girls are half Caucasian and half Asian. So Eurasian, lots of Eurasian girls. And we did that movie, Crazy Rich Asians, that was filmed in my birthplace.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Trying to see if I can get to a different view. There it goes. Shows all three of us at the same time here. And so let's get into this because you've prepared quite a few things, and you want to kind of backdrop the story a little bit.
Rick, could I ask Kirsten to open for us with a prayer in Chinese?
Oh, prayer in Chinese. Okay. 相爱的上帝，保住中国。停记，让我们早去神疆 which Amen, which is I said, dear God, help China stop the coronavirus. I didn't say corona. I just said help China stop, and then help us find the truth. Amen.
Awesome.
I have something for Gene. Gene. On the 26th of this month, there were many buses, not all the way from DC, I guess they flew. They flew from DC to the Denver Airport DUMS, which is CIA. So a lot of politicians in buses were seen entering the DUMB in Denver, Colorado. So they know something's up. Maybe they're trying to avoid getting arrested. That was on the 26th from military intel.
Yeah, they're trying to hide. Unfortunately, what they don't know is that base has been cleaned out and taken over by the White Hats.
and they're calling themselves the continuous government.
Yeah, they have a rude surprise coming.
Yeah. Anyway, just a little tidbit before we start on the China thing.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. China's hero doctor has punished for telling the truth about the coronavirus.
Yeah, that was Dr. Lee, and he died from supposedly coronavirus, also his family, and he had to admit a few months ago when he exposed this strange virus that he was promoting malicious gossip, which he had to say. So, yeah. And then he died. Do you have a picture of him, Rick?
Yeah, he's right there.
Okay, so he died, Dr. Lee, and he died on February the 6th. On the same day, we have this lawyer / citizen reporter that was grabbed in Wuhan, and I think you have a video on him, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna play this minute and 6 video. Let's listen now.
我会努力振作起来，振作起来。司法局又给我打电话了，青岛公安局也给我打电话了，问我在哪儿呢，让我回去配合调查。我说我在武汉呢。那你上武汉干啥去？我说你不知道我在武汉，你找我干啥？你找我配合你啥？我说你在武汉住在哪儿？我说住在朋友家里。然后现在他们找我爸妈谈话去了，昨天还前天找我爸妈谈话去了。我妈说我不比你担心他吗？我不比你更希望他回来吗？我就说，我是害怕，我前面是病毒，我后边是中国的法律和行政力量，但是我会振作起来，只要我活在这个城市，我会继续做我的报道，我只说我看见的，我听见的。我特别喜欢说一些撂的狠话，对吧？我今天把狠话撂这儿。妈逼，我连死都不怕，我怕你共产党吗？
All right, there we go. So no, Kirsten, I know you and Gene can't hear that, but the YouTube people can, right? So give me a 1 if you can hear that fine. You heard that video fine. 2 if there's any problems. But anyway, go ahead and summarize that for us.
Okay, so Dr. Li Wenliang was expired from supposedly coronavirus, as did his family, on the same day that they grabbed the citizen reporter / lawyer. His name is, on Twitter, everyone knows who he is, Chen Kuishi. He was grabbed, and you saw his video, okay? And then we have another citizen reporter that's named Fan Bing, and he was grabbed on 2/9.
Yeah.
And we don't have video on him, but we do have the one that was grabbed on 2/26. Li Zihua. When they put Li, you know how Americans, we put the last name first, the last name last, and the first name first. Chinese is opposite. We put the last name first. So Li is the last name, Zihua is the first name. Just like we write from left to right. Chinese, we write from right to left, and it's up and down. So just FYI.
Yeah, that's interesting. And and just to let you know, the what we're gonna do in this show is we're going over Kirsten's awesome stuff about talking about China, and then we're getting to Gene talking about some updates on the coronavirus, and I'm gonna go on some links of what I bought to protect myself if you guys want to do something similar, right? And I'll have those links in the show notes, as well as I'm gonna try to get them. I'll try to get them in down below in the description is as well. But go ahead, Kirsten.
Okay, so you know, do you want me to go through what I think the coronavirus came to be, or do you want me to just go into the China thing?
No, go ahead and talk about that, and then Gene can counteract and see what you both information you have.
From what research I did, it was concocted in at the University of North Carolina in a P3 lab, which is less dangerous than a P4 lab. Then it moved over to a P4 lab in Winnipeg, Canada. The doctor had some electrodes put in his brain, and he died in Nigeria. And George Plummer, and he's the doctor that knew that there was no SARS really, because they got all the money for the SARS to get a vaccine, but he would have exposed that there was no vaccine because they could find no one or anyone that had the disease. So that was all a big fraud. And then it went over to the Harvard CIA School of Harvard. You know that Harvard and Stanford are CIA. So went over to that guy, Professor Charles Lieber, who helped develop it further and opened the P4 lab in Wuhan, which is 2 Chinese assistants. He's been arrested, so have they. And the one Chinese assistant was in the Chinese military. and they did what they call gain of function, which they added onto the white blood cells, the HIV and also MERS disease. And and they linked that to get the people to be reinfected. They have Huihua, which you know that is banned in America, that company Huihua that does all the phones and everything. They have chips in them, and they had them basically chipped and done during the vaccines when Obama, remember, he tweeted about the Zen garden and the Green Goblin and the Q drops. It talked about that. That was them telling them to get ready in China to do that, to release the virus. So that's just what my research. I don't know what Jean has to say about it, but Huihua has electroporation, which opens the skin up so it can get infected through the pores of your skin, and that's how they reinfect the people.
Wow. Jean, anything on your research on the...
Yeah, the labs and everything she said are correct. What they did, the outer, what are called the connector sites, are from genetically engineered in. They're identical to what you find for SARS. So those are, you can't have identical without it being engineered in nature. That's, they took the SARS connectors, the lipid envelope, or the protein envelope, as it is known, is directly from that bat virus. And then the internal lipid structure is a combination of inserts from the AIDS virus, the SARS virus, and the Ebola virus. And those things are 100% identical to those things. That doesn't occur in nature, unless that's only engineered in a lab, like the P4 lab that Kirsten mentioned.
Wow. So we know it's genetically engineered. Gina, how much do you want to get into the fact that, I think Kirsten, you were talking about this, that these elites that thought they were going to be protected of this aren't necessarily protected at all, right?
No, they're not protected at all. But who funded that first research at the University of North Carolina? That would be the World Health Organization in cahoots with the National Institute of Health, which introduces us to the horrible Anthony Fauci, who is always blocking any kind of things about HIV, which I think they introduced. When they say they're researching, they really mean they're creating. They're not researching, they're creating. So I say, dear POTUS, please close all the 12 P4 labs in the United States as soon as possible. Also, you were planning to defund the National Institute of Health with Anthony Fauci. Please do it. Defund the CDC, led by Dr. Nancy Messoulier, who is the sister of Rod Rosenstein, who is spreading the virus all through America. She has people quarantined in Alabama at the FEMA camp, in California, and all over different areas of California, in Washington State, in Nebraska, where they're doing research. They're spreading it. That's the CDC for you. And also another CDC member released people from Japan that were from Wuhan into the United States. And Donald Trump's very angry about that.
The State Department, overrode the CDC in that case. Yeah. But anyway, so backing up just a little bit, is that I think you had information about this virus actually going into an elite hospital that nobody else can go to except for the elites, as well as a government facility. Okay. Is that right?
Okay, I have an email. Let me get to my email. Hopefully you can still see me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to my email right now from my lawyer friend. I'll just call him Chen because he'll be dead if I mention his real name, okay? So I'm going to read you some of his messages to me, because tomorrow, I think it's the 1st in March, China will be banned from all of China will be banned from going on the internet. and he won't get to see me on Facebook or anything anymore. So that's I'll read what he has to say, which will tell you a lot of stuff. He did say that they pulled a woman out of her car because she didn't have a mask on, and they beat her up so bad they broke her neck and she was dead. They also grabbed a guy that was not wearing a mask and beat him up for not wearing a mask and killed him. And so this is what he has to say about what's happening. Okay, here we go. He said, and I will quote him because he's really excellent. He said, the woman refused to wear a mask inside her own car. She was pulled out, and during this, her neck was broken and she was dead. There are so many incinerators, movable incinerators moving around, like 10,000 of them, incinerating all those bodies. So he talked about the citizen reporter that was grabbed in Wuhan. We know that already. And then he talks about Miles Kwok. He says Miles Kwok is Steve Bannon's insider, billionaire guy that lives in New York. His real name is Mr. Gao. Miles Kwok, and you'll see some videos from him soon. Miles Kwok said this virus was released to eliminate Hong Kong protesters, but out of control. He called us to wait till the 29th, which is today, and there's videos out, and I will translate that to English. I do not know. The failure of the containment will be for sure. The CCP under us to go to work, despite orders us to go to work, despite virus still going on. So we have two groups, actually three. We have the CCP, we have the PLA, the Chinese Communist Party, the PLA, which are the CCP that's more military. They control the military and they keep on switching them around, so they always maintain control. And then have the PLA, People's Liberation Army, which is basically more the politicians. And President Xi Jinping is in charge of both. So that's what he's saying. Miles Kwok insisted that we will have a new China by June the 4th, Memorial Day for Tiananmen Square slaughter. He says the virus conquered the very medical center of the CCP, the People's Hospital of Peking University. The cabal used the hospital to create illegitimate sons. As you know, I'm Chinese, and they toss the girls in the trash or get rid of the girls, and they just keep the boys because they carry the family name. So there's very few girls in China. Maybe they will kill each other inside the CCP. Now I doubt whether Xi is a white hat. He called Bill Gates and thanks for the help. As you know, Bill Gates got a vaccine last year for the virus. And how do you really vaccinate for a virus where you add mold and all these other things into it and it's mutating? So how do you get that? Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Anything from you guys?
Wow. Nothing there about the elite hospital or government facility and that the elites are getting this?
Yeah, that's what I said, the Beijing hospital.
Okay.
They contracted it in the Beijing hospital where the elites are manufacturing, like if the wife can't produce a son, they're manufacturing illegitimate children. Boys.
Okay, so that's it. Wow. So that's really was God's surprise. I think they thought they would have an antidote and be safe, and it sounds like they aren't.
Yeah. So Rick, on that, what originally started was this was engineered by the other cabal to get rid of the Li family, which is the 13th, and they were getting out of control. And the original black nobility of the original Merovingian line, the top line, did not like the fact that the Li family, the 13th line, was 2 years short of being able to take over the world economically and militarily. So they developed this specifically to target the ACE2 receptor site, which is in Asians. And then it would just target them. But it was, Spirit of God told me that he changed it to punish the bloodlines of Cain, all of them. And so that's why it went, as Kirsten said, first to the Beijing hospital. In first place it showed up in Beijing. And then the second place it showed up in Beijing was the university hospital where they harvest organs for the elites. And then the same thing in Iran. The first person to die in Iran was the ambassador to China.
Yeah, wow. So God's using this as judgment, it looks like, on this evil satanic cabal that we talk about almost every day.
Yes, and then they had long-term prediction on this. There's 2 Simpson episodes where they talked about planning it. There's a Dean Koontz book, I believe it's called The Edge of Darkness, in which he talked about a virus coming out of Wuhan that was published back in 2008. There was an Illuminati meeting that Carrie Cassidy covered, insider she had that went to it, that said that China will catch a cold and bring down China. And that's all been projected. That's what they call Tavistock Institute long-range preconditioning. That's their black magic. They have to do that beforehand before they do these kind of things.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
All right, and so if we get into your next, the next one here is this little 12-second video. Look at the line of these people waiting for water, I think it was, and they went out. I think the tweet says, is it Xi'an City in Hubei province, water supply for several communities cut off for unknown reasons. And so look at this, just waiting to give for water.
So Wuhan is basically part of Hubei province, but the virus has spread way north too. They've spread way, way, way north.
Yeah, just look at that line, just to get water for your family. This is how amazingly horrible this is for these poor people. That's kind of what I have behind me, is the picture of that right there. That's the little 12-second video. Here's a 18-second video. This is after Hong Kong police has started new rounds of political persecution and arrested media tycoon Jimmy Lia. HK police punched Jimmy Lee. Jimmy Lai punched a Hong Konger squarely in the face tonight. So watch this violence that these policemen are going to do to this reporter. Wow. So do you have any idea what they're spraying there in that video? The policeman, what they're spraying on? They sprayed his face and then sprayed some other people's face around.
I'm sure it's not pepper spray. It's not as innocent as that. Probably that make him have dementia or something, just like the cure for that they're putting out for coronavirus, Remdesivir. What is the side effect of that one? You lose your mind and you have rash all over your body. I mean, it's like a little crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they just literally sprayed him right in the eyes on purpose, and it was like a foam that came in there, or some type of light. It just looked pretty vicious, and he reamed back as it got there, and then they're spraying on other people too. It's like, wow. So crazy stuff going on in China.
No, that was Hong Kong. That was Hong Kong.
That was Hong Kong. Interesting. No, you're right. Hong Kong police.
Hong Kong is supposedly has 2 governments, British and Chinese, and the Chinese have been supposed to take it back in 1999, and they just let it be because the trade is so good. But now they want it back. But they're losing power. The CCP, I think, is having a problem with the PLA. So those two different groups are just trying to take each other out. But I will read you something about Xi Jinping that you'll be shocked, from his daughter. He's got there's an email from his daughter online in Chinese, and I'll translate it.
Okay. So you want to do that now, or?
No, I think you should play the 2 mouse walk videos that he's that has subtitles, and then the third one I'll explain what mouse walk has to say, and then I'll say, last but not least, the daughter of Xi Jinping that has an email, and it will coincide with what mouse walk has to say.
Okay, did you want to say anything about, I know I have a link to this Fang Bin, hashtag Fang Bin, who's
Yeah, the Fang Bing, that's the third citizen reporter. Actually, he's a real anchor from CCTV. China has like about 7 TV stations. They're all owned by the government, from CCTV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was working for one of them, and he quit and he became a citizen reporter. And you have video of him being chased by someone in Wuhan, and obviously they caught him because he disappeared after that.
Oh, really? So you think he's caught now? So somebody's taken over? Okay. Oh, no, I thought this was his Twitter account. This is just a search on Twitter for him. I see.
So
yeah, but there's a video of him being chased.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, someone's following me, and he was being chased as he was driving.
Yeah, so I see. Okay, let's play this one of driving. He's a 28-second video. Just 1 second.
So right on the book, it was by Dean Koontz, was The Edge of Darkness. It was published in 1981. And thank you for that correction, B. Pinkerton.
Okay, so let's listen to this. You won't. I think it's all in Chinese, but let's listen to see. Here goes, 28 seconds.
我现在在路上，突然被一个不知道是什么样的，应该是国安的人，国家安全局的人开着不是警车的车在追我，然后我现在没法直播，我只能拍一个这样的视频。我现在上去，我现在在。
So obviously he's being chased right there, and he says 3 citizen journalists disappeared in Wuhan for showing what is actually happening on the ground. They are rounding up anyone with a voice to forcibly silence them. All right. Okay, so now, anything else on that, either of you?
They have gotten a little kid too. I think it was like 20-something years old, and they grabbed him. He's a younger journalist. That's the most recent one. And they have another doctor that was reported in New York Post that actually died treating people 5 days before he was supposed to be married.
Whoa. Here's these 3 videos that are from CCP. Is not China is the name of the YouTube channel. But go ahead. This is Miles Kwok, right?
Miles Kwok, yes. That's Steve Bannon. You know Steve Bannon, his billionaire donor / whistleblower. Miles Kwok's an interesting fellow. If you've watched my China videos, and are you going to play the videos right now with the subtitles?
Well, they're like 4 minutes long, but we'll start.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Why has CCP manufactured and leaked deadly Wuhan coronavirus?
I guess. So I'll tell you real quickly. So Miles Kwok is saying there's about 10,000 in movable incinerators. They're throwing bodies into the incinerators. There's so many bodies in the hospital that there's still a lot. Some of them are still moving and alive when they're thrown in the incinerator, and they're screaming for their lives.
Wow.
And a lot of stuff is going on, and even the first citizen reporter Chen Kuishi was saying there are people moving, as they're throwing them into these incinerators. So he saw movement. So, that's going on.
Yeah,
and,
so you could, I just want to show everybody real quick. If you go to this little gear here for settings, you can actually turn on subtitles for English and watch these videos. This is a 4-minute video. She's also got a one here that's a 6-minute video. Again, if you go to the little square, go here, turn on English subtitles, you'll be able to understand a lot of what he's broadcasting on. And then there's this latest one was today, right, Kirsten?
Yeah, he was talking about he was off for 21 days because his mom passed away. Mm-hmm. He's obviously, I would say, my Chinese friend calls him an idolater, but he's obviously Buddhist and not a Christian. Most of my country are Christian because we're British colonies, so mostly Christian. But he's, it's a secular country, so he's Buddhist. And he did. He's not so great in the beginning because he made a lot of his money by blackmailing Chinese government officials, which he was one of. with their sex tapes. So he's
Wow.
not exactly pure as the driven snow. So, and he's the one that exposed Fan Bingbing, the beautiful actress that was in all the Marvel movies and stuff, the top Chinese actress. She was having an affair with, he's with, what's his name, the vice president of China. She was doing deals. She was making more money doing deals with him and her other lovers, introducing each other, and she was getting a portion out of $1 billion deals. So she was making hundreds of millions of dollars by doing that. They said she was tax evasion, but that's not true. And basically, if you watch my videos, you'll see the China. He exposed her. He's got tape on her, with her lovers and her sugar daddies. And he's also very good friends with Jack Ma, who owned Alibaba, which is the Google of China. And Jack Ma, that Google of China is worth like $50 billion. He had to give it up to the Chinese government. They put their own people in there on the board. And then he thought he was going to kill Mr. Gao, aka Mouse Kwok, thought they were going to kill Jack Ma because that's what they do with rich people. They even jail them and kill them and take their company. But Jack Ma has another company that's worth even more. So Alibaba was worth about 48 billion or 50 billion. This other company called Ant Financial is worth 150 billion. So,
wow.
Yeah, Jack Ma's still alive, everyone. Everyone thought he was seized and dead, but Jack Ma's still alive. But of course, Mouse Kwok also has been jailed, and I think Jack Ma was seized too, but released because they don't know how to. Chinese, I don't know. I can say because I'm Chinese, not so creative, very good at copying. What can I say? I'm different. I'm very creative and not so good at copying.
All right. No, thanks for that. That is amazing. And if you're watching this video here and you saw what he's saying here, he said it was 10 to 100 times more deaths than what they're actually reporting officially, is what he's saying.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Crazy stuff. All right. Hey, Gene, we're moving to some of your stuff. We have this.
No, wait 1 second.
Okay.
I have 2 things to go before you get to Gene, please.
Okay.
Okay, so we have that latest video that Mouse Kwok put up, and this is the synopsis, okay? Okay, Macron's handler, who Emmanuel Macron, who educated Macron and brought him up, is a friend of Mouse Kwok. He said at least 3 members of the political Politburo top leadership will die of corona before April 1st. The currency will crash, the RMB or the yen. He said store up food, everything. New York, London, and Washington will be strictly quarantined. There will be a new China without the CCP by June 4th, 2020. There will be an international committee to supervise a democratic China. We will have rule of law and independence of court. One man, one vote. And his followers might be members of the committee. The CCP is finding fault with Taiwan right now. And if it's crazy and stupid enough to attack Taiwan, so Taiwan is very dangerous. I heard the PLA bought 1,400,000 body armors. The evil Hong Kong government leaders will disappear for sure. The party's privileged crematorium in Baoshan will start to cremate their own leaders. The CCP will burn themselves. Kwok called his followers to stay alive, stay away from virus. Living shall be your main purpose for now. The CCP will fail whatever you do or not do. Just save yourself, quarantine yourself, and wait for him to go, and wait for me, which is Mouse Kwok, to go to Beijing Tiananmen Square. Since 2029, everything will change. That's today. Actions to eliminate the CCP are going on now, and it will be an important day. That's today. Okay. Now we have a letter from Xi Mingji, the only daughter of Xi Jinping and First Lady Ping Li-huan. She's a student at Harvard. Oh no, she is, that's CIA, but let's keep on going. The post was published in Ping Kong Rocks. It's a Chinese thing, so I have to translate for you.
You cut off your mouth there, Kirsten. If you can move that camera back there. Yeah, it went too high.
Okay. Oh,
your camera went too high. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you see me now?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. I am here to deliver one message. Xi, her father, is not a real president. Not to say an emperor. He's a pawn in the chess. When the internal struggle at high level is over, China will get real democracy, which agrees with our Amanda Grace, but will need a long time. Xi's family are not interested in political struggle. Xi is just a hijacked puppet. This year and next year, most people will lose 40 to 60% of property. Please do, and I guess that would be property value. Please do not guess the high level. So she's saying, let's not guess 60%, because my father also does not know where to go. Her English is not that great. Please, the high level is going to kill each other in chaos. It's a secular country, so if they lose all their money, it's not going to be good. All the political groups will die together. The virus is a small matter, and it was not released by the CCP. My father is just a pawn. He can't do such a thing, I'm sure. Just to alert all of you, next year your property value will go down 40 to 60%. Nothing after that. I apologize to you. I just want to convey one message. He is not an emperor, just a pawn in the game. All you see is wrong. The high level is going to be another purge and vanish, all of them. Now the internal struggle is like fire. 40% of them will flee, 40 of them will be cast out, and the left are going to be horrible. Mocking the high-level officials are useless for you. Just run. Abandon everything and run. This is not a fantasy. He is stupid, but not evil. She's talking about her dad. Mm-hmm. He has no power. Don't give him nickname to my father. He is safe now. You must leave this land as soon as possible. The ones who wait are facing not just poverty. Make financial arrangements. The coronavirus is just an excuse. This next thing is shrinking of your property. The coup is real, or it's on the way to a coup. I'm here, just want to tell you the situation on a higher place.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. Lots going on in.
Ni hao, ni hao.
And so is your opinion that he's pretty accurate in what's going on?
No, that's just his daughter speaking. But
Okay.
if you go to what Miles Kwok says, it kind of coincides. Is it going to be a new government? The property values are going to drop, just like when we switch over to our go back dollar, everything's going to drop. But it's probably going to be worth less. But the money, yeah, the same thing.
Great. Anything else before we go to Jean?
No, Jean, you can have the floor.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Jean. We're on the Oath Keepers deal here. Anything on that, Jean?
Yeah, that's just a really good platform for people to get a kind of basic idea. I think I have a few links here that are really excellent. And on this, I would recommend that everybody read Psalm 91. We'll go over that at the end, that we need to know that God has this in his hands. This is his hammer against the bloodlines of Cain now. He's made it that. And that we need not fear. and do not buy into fear porn. It's like if you go to the Simon Parks video that we have the link here, listen to how calm he is and how he knows that, the creator isn't going to let source, it, as he calls God, isn't going to let this, do what they had in mind, the deep state and the cabal. So don't react through fear and panic, but I am a martial artist and a 20 plus year military veteran. So I plan for the worst and I hope and pray for the best. And I know that God has my back and that we need to be calm, but you need to plan ahead and be prepared. Being prepared is, and even over prepared is fine, because if nothing happens, you're good. But if something massive does happen, then if you're not prepared and you take, I know there's a lot of sites that saying this is totally fake, it's just the flu, there's nothing, and that is a possibility. I won't say that it's not, but if you're over prepared and nothing happens, then that's fine. But if you don't have preparations and it does hit massively, think of what you're gambling with. And especially if that includes other people like children and your family and things like that, you're gambling with something that cannot be replaced if it's taken away by not being prepared.
Right. Anything on this?
That's why I promote the same thing that Rick promotes. I wear my shungite bracelet to absorb the radiation, my shungite necklace, my shungite earrings. It absorbs the radiation. Rick's going to talk about that in a little bit, about the shungite. Yeah, and
I support that highly, because like in the chat is going on, and we'll go into that, the 5G as well as all the smart devices, that means your computer, the curly Q light bulbs, iPhones, iPads, all of that helps to the 60 gigahertz coming off, that helps to activate that. It also creates a spin in the oxygen part of the water molecule that makes so that your lung cannot absorb it, and then you get what seems like pneumonia. Your lungs fill up with water, and then that 60 gigahertz will activate this virus. That's why people that have it and come up and get recover from it, they'll get it a second time and then they drop dead really quick. So carrying that shungite on you is highly, highly wise and intelligent. And I carry a piece in my wallet. My wife has one glued on her iPhone. I have one glued on the computer in front of me. We have them near our Wi-Fi and everywhere else throughout the house. And I highly recommend that people get that, in as well as the pyramids, which Rick will be going into shortly.
Yeah,
and you drink shungite water, like if I don't know if I pronounce that, Iverson put in the chat.
Yeah, interesting. I think that we have. I was going to switch to a different camera here real quick to show you. I think Kirsten had this similar something like that. This is a shungite triangle.
Wow, that's
or a pyramid. Yeah, well, two different types of shapes, right? So I'm gonna have links to those in the.
Show yours, Kirsten, again, please.
I'm so little.
But you see the one Kirsten's holding, you want to have that one. That's a 5 proportion. The 2 that Rick had, the lower one's a double 5 proportion. The even 5 proportion is the most powerful, and the tall one that he showed is a triple 5 proportion. The straight 5 proportion, like Kirsten has, is the best one. It's the most powerful because geometry has a big effect on how things work. And this
1, 2, 3, 4. You want the one that has 5? You're saying?
I'm talking about what's the height of it compared to the base.
Okay.
And the way they measure pyramid height is you draw a line from the top point down through the middle of a side to the base, and that's called the apothem. If you take that measurement compared to the base, then you get phi. The one Kirsten's holding, you'll get phi exactly, which is the frequency of God. Everything in nature is based on phi. And then the one you're holding, Rick, the small one, the short one, is based on a double phi, and then the tall one, the base is double phi to the apothem, and then the tall one's double phi the apothem compared to the base. So if you get the straight phi like Kirsten has, that's the most powerful one.
Yeah, so it's basically shorter, is what you're saying, than this one.
Right.
Okay.
It's like doing harmonics. What you're doing is harmonics. which is good. It's, you know, if you want to do both, that's very powerful to have the straight phi and then the double phi proportion and a half phi. You know, the double height is a double phi, and then the half height is a half harmonic. And you get those when you do mixing frequencies, which is called heterodyning. You get the sum and difference in the two originals, the original frequencies, and those again heterodyne against each other. You'll get half harmonics as well.
Okay. Now, Gene, we have looks like this BBC reports reinfection possible in this email that you sent me here, which is interesting. That's kind of scary. I heard some experts with Trump saying that's not likely, but interesting. So besides this, Simon Parks, you'll see all this on blessed2teach.com, blessed with the number 2 teach.com. Right, and I guess you're recommending the first 40 minutes of this video is really good, right?
Now, the Simon Parks first 40 minutes, for me, all of it's excellent. I love his stuff. He's very calm and collected and highly intelligent and a very powerful, aware person. He has a lot of inside connections. The first half of that, he goes into the corona very succinctly, very calmly. And that's how we need to be in an emergency situation. You need to be all freaking out. You need to be calm and collected. And then the last part is all questions. Some of them are pretty amazing questions, and his answers are even more amazing, but it's pretty much way down the rabbit hole for most people. So the corona part's the most powerful for the average person that's recently red-pilled and not extremely far down the rabbit hole.
Right, right. People are asking where we get the Shangite. I'll have a link to the ones that I bought, and all mine are on Amazon, right? So I use an enemy for their 2-day shipping. So
and then
there's other sources too that you can find.
Yeah, we'll be going into a bunch of other things. I don't recommend taking orgonite at all. It does. It can bring in satanics into you. It's not something that is. I personally would recommend. Use again your own judgment and come to your own decisions. But we will be going into the hydrogen peroxide and MMS, which I did before, and the links on that.
Right, right. Okay, so now we have this Carrie Cassidy,
and she does an excellent expose on, and she has on the bottom of that video, it's only 25 minutes long. She has on the bottom the patents for all the viruses, like H1N1, and in the very last one is the patent for the coronavirus that was patented by Cirstenw, the Bill Gates which is a Bill Gates Foundation. He got the patent on it. Go ahead, Kirsten. Bill Wright. Thank you for the correction. I'm terrible. I can never pronounce that thing right. It's just certain words I cannot pronounce.
And I guess Deception Bite did a real good job too on one, right?
Yeah, Deception Bites is excellent. And then Edge of Wonder did a 3-part series, which is phenomenal. It disagrees with a little bit of what Kirsten said about the different places it came up. And I agree with Kirsten and not what Edge of Wonder said for where it came up. And that's due to how it showed up in China as well. And the handoff that happened in that with a gun battle that wound up from that Canada, there was a Chinese person that tried to sell a vial in that market where they said it came out of that market where they had bats and bats. That's where it came from. It came, it's partly engineered from bats, but where it came from was a handoff in a gun battle, and the vial hit the ground, and that's the first contamination of it. But there's an additionally very odd thing about corona. Viruses, when they move and travel, viruses cannot reproduce. There's 2 types of viruses, RNA and DNA. Corona's an RNA. It has to use, all viruses use one of 4 types of transmitters to transmit their RNA or DNA into the host cell. So the reason they call, example, a retrovirus like AIDS a retrovirus is it uses the amino acid or protein called reverse transcriptase. And what that does is it inverts the genetic information into the host cell. And then the host cell manufactures parts of the virus. And when the host cell's nucleus fills with all the parts, it explodes. And then they assemble inside the cell. And as they penetrate the cell, they take the host cell's cellular liner as part of its liner. And so each time a virus reproduces within somebody, uses them to reproduce, it changes its structure slightly. So by the time it's gone through 20 to 50 people, it's completely a different virus. So getting, for example, a flu vaccination that that was created this year, created over the last year, you're just putting in circulation a virus that existed and has burned its way out of the population. Everybody got an immunity to. That was the virus that was there last year. It's not the virus that's running this year. So that's totally irrelevant and stupid. And then the problem we see with the coronavirus is every case worldwide, every single case, all the hundreds of thousands of cases worldwide, the virus is genetically identical, which means, and I agree with what a person I was talking to, an insider of mine, the only way that can be is if somehow worldwide they disseminated this and then they activate it with the smart devices and 5G. And the only way, and I agree with him, the only way I can see that being done is aerosol through chemtrailing.
Wow. And that's why it could have anything to do with the 5G at all?
Yeah, the 5G, the smart devices, right. What activates it.
So that's why you want the shungite, right? Another reason to have it. Yeah.
In Wuhan, they ramped their 5G right before it came out. They boosted the power supply of their 5G by over 5 times.
Yeah.
And also in the Diamond cruise lines, they did the 5G. That's how the people were stuck in their rooms and they were infected. And if you're going to get reinfected, they're going to use the 5G to do it.
Yes, that the reinfection is done completely by the 5G and the smart devices. They can give that 60 gigahertz blast through smart devices, through screens. It can be carrier waved over screens and smart devices. That's why if you look in China and Wuhan and you'll see people working it, there's some videos you see where people, for example, a guard is in front of tons of computer screens, like 20, 30 computer screens. And as he leans into one of the screens, he suddenly falls over in the chair and collapses. On the street, you'll see the same thing. Person walks under a 5G tower and they suddenly collapse and die.
Wow. Gene, I'm showing these numbers here, but you're saying these are underinflated, right? But so in 2900.
Yeah, they're underinflated. My insiders, as well as many other sources I've seen online, and many of the videos, like Deception Bites says as well, the figures should be multiplied by at least a factor of 52.
Yes, that's a lot more than 2,900, right? That's exactly what happened. Sir. Yeah. Now, I want to get into some things you can do to prep. And so, as you know, backstage, I did a health hoax document and given a lot of links to my health, which has been very successful. But now I'm specific to the coronavirus. I added another 5 slides. I want to show you those 5 slides front stage here. Backstage, it's already available there. So again, this is the last day that you'll get the 30% off of Backstage. And so those of you who want to join and be able to get to all the exclusive content, Gene just did one. Just did 2 actually. Gene Unleashed, and then earlier in the week he did one on Atlantis. And then I did one middle of the month on the health hoax and all the links to health products that I think work extremely well and can help protect you and get healthy. Again, this will be $14.77 as of midday tomorrow. So this is the last chance for you to get the 30% off of Backstage if you want to do it. Again, you can get it all the way down to $7 a month if you do a year in advance. And then you'll have access to all of this. I'm going to get this front stage. I just need my web developers to develop a health tab. So if you look right here, there's going to be a new tab called Health that'll come up here. That'll have everything I'm about ready to show you. Just real quickly, I know we pushed up to our hour already, but I wanted to quickly go over this here. Let's see if I can grab it. Here it is. So I got a PDF that, again, you have this V.8 Backstage right now. And this is actually a 15-page document that goes over. There is a disclaimer here, and I want to make sure everybody knows that this is like personal stuff. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. We're not medical professionals. My wife's a dietitian, but this is not recommendations, right? So what I wanted to do is show you that this is all the stuff I went over last time, linking to this natural health doctor has helped me so much, and the stuff that I has helped me so much, and some of Gene's suggestions on getting amino acids from things, and my fish liver from David Wilcox, and Gene talking about vitamin C. We found a cheaper source of vitamin C, so those of you backstage, make sure you go grab that. I'll get all these links to you eventually here front stage as well. Iodine links, best toothpaste, other snacks I use in my diet, that best distillers and drinks I use, links to things that can keep you from getting cancer with these nuts, and what I take. I'm just showing you what I take. And so here's what I added on, and this is what I wanted to really focus on: hydrogen peroxide and the cleanse. There's a book. There's a free PDF backstage. You can order this 1 minute cure on Amazon. It's a very short read, about 100 pages, and it's amazing. On the 4th chapter, chapter 4, shows you how to treat yourself. Getting oxygen in your body can really help. Gene, do you want to emphasize a little bit more on that?
Yeah, with the hydrogen peroxide, if you have Magellan's outbreak, which I'm getting over, you don't want to use hydrogen peroxide. It'll fuel it. But for everything else, it wipes out of your body parasites, all of them. Bacteria, other than Magellan's, which is AI. So it wipes out parasites, fungus, mold, bacteria, multi-celled organisms. What it does is it makes a super oxygen cascade within your body that makes a environment that's very alkaline and very oxygenated. Most parasites like candida and yeast infections and all of those are anaerobic organisms. They cannot take a high oxygen environment. And if you get that from the Pure Health, as is Sweet Reed posted there on the chat, the 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide. You want food grade if you're going to use it internally or in a mister, a humidifier, or any device that puts out a mist in the air. If you put that food grade, I use 1 ounce per gallon. If you're using your mister is less than that, then just decrease by the percentage. If you're using a lower percentage, multiply the percentage to get to 35% and use multiply that by the amount you add. What the mister does is it puts it airborne like the virus is airborne. The virus in Hong Kong also traveled 10 floors from the first floor to a 10th floor in the piping through the water in the pipe, and they had a water leak in the 10th floor in one apartment, and then it became airborne. A whole lot of people in Hong Kong got sick on the 10th floor from an infected person on the first floor. It can go through water. It can go airborne. And what the mister does is it mists the air with hydrogen peroxide, so it kills the corona in the air. It then covers everything with a very light mist of hydrogen peroxide water, where it can live on surfaces for 28 days, like Simon Park said and my insider said. So in that case, and that's why the seclusion in the U.S. for 14 days or 2 weeks is not enough. So you need to get the mister, because then it'll coat your surfaces and your surfaces in your home, and that will be covered. You can also do the hydrogen peroxide cleanse. It's that book. The 15-minute cure is very short read. It's very easy, very succinct, and explains all this in quite excellent detail. The cleanse is very simple to do. I would highly recommend, while you have time, to do first the liver, gallbladder, saltwater cleanse. Get your digestive tract clean, so that when this hits you and you're killing this virus in massive amounts, it's coming at you, your removal system is clean and you can get it out of your body. Secondly is the MMS. And that, again, I'm not a licensed medical professional. I don't have a licensed degree. I'm not a professional. So use your own judgment. What you decide to do is entirely up to you. It is entirely under your responsibility. Come to your own decisions. Do your own research, like Q says. If you do not agree with anything I say, that's entirely your opinion. My opinion's mine. It's a theory that I have lived by over 30 years. The MMS saved my life twice, and both of my husky dogs got bit by rattlesnakes, and it saved their life as well. It will also remove poisons, the MMS. My recommendation for those that want to take it, again, you're under your own responsibility for what you do, is to get the 25% HCl as the activator, and the sodium chloride from KV's Lab, or KV's Corner they call it. You can buy it online and they'll send it to you, and get at least a 3-month supply. I have a lifetime supply that I got. Additionally, if you can find, I can't find it anymore, but we got the sodium chloride crystal, and you can put that in gel caps. And for the person that freaked out when I said that, because she went to a site and it says 1 drop of the MMS in a gallon of water, that is to purify the water, which it will do. But for internal usage, that's not what you do. So sorry that you misunderstood that. The sodium chloride and crystal in a gel cap. If you want to contact me for any of this information, you're not on Backstage. My Gmail, COLOSENSEI64, and that is my Gmail. And I will send you all of this information as well as the disclaimer first up, due to the trolls and all the attacks and all of the slander and all of the hate mail I get from all of the people. Like Simon Parks doesn't do email anymore because he's had so many massive satanic attacks through people just slander and all kinds of things that you can only go through his Connecting Consciousness site now if you're a member. So also the black seed oil, I got some of that. That's very powerful. The last thing I got, if you do have Magellan's, what wiped it out for me literally in a few hours, go to Honey Gardens and get at a health food store, get the Honey Gardens Elderberry Immune Boost. I was suffering. I had massive headaches, tingling, burning, stinging. I could only sleep the first time 3 hours, do a full martial arts workout to get all that to go down by robbing the Magellans of the energy in my body by working out and using my remote viewing and seeing things all over the world. And then I could sleep 1 hour, and then I do the same thing again. Then I sleep 50 minutes. So that's why I wasn't as prepared for this show, because I did a bottle of the elderberry. I got home and I had a movement that was black, and the puffy ball mushroom looking things that they hatch out of were in there. And then I woke up I went to bed and I woke up. The headaches and the stinging and the burning went away, along with an essential oil mixture that my wife knows how to make that takes that away by 90% immediately. I went to bed and I woke up over 9 hours later, realized I haven't slept more than 3 hours at a time in 3 weeks. So that Honey Gardens Elderberry Immune Boost, it's over 300 elderberries, and then it also has several other all organic fruit juices in it. It's very powerful. A little weird tasting, but
that's more Magellan thing. It's not that's
for Magellan's, right? And I'm saying Magellan's because right now a lot of people are suffering by both. And so the hydrogen peroxide would be contradicting if you have Magellan's. So and these are co-teamed together. They sprayed, I believe, this is my opinion, that they sprayed the corona through chemtrails. They hyped this up big time in the last 2 months. It's all over again, all of the old big gray nasty stuff all over the world. I had people all over the world contacting me telling me this. And then they also added to that, again, the nanofibers, the nanotech, and the smart dust that becomes the Magellans.
Wow. So shungite, that's why shungite's important, right? And that's what we're talking about here. I got a link to an Amazon one. Kirsten, do you have a source for your shungite little earrings and stuff?
I get it from Amazon also.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that's where. So I think this is the one you were talking about. Was it the midterm one? That's the one I have a link to. You'll be able to see all the other ones from this same link I have here. And so again, that's shungite, SHUNGITE. All right. Then the face mask. By the way, this is what I was telling you guys. I actually went and bought 15 masks, that were disposable, that were M95. That's what they're recommending. M95 or better. And they were completely sold out. So these black ones are the only ones that are that are available, but they're 4 to 6 weeks out. So that's kind of scary. But you can go see those right here. And so you'll see the link here for this. This is 7-pack of these, and again they're the M95 that you need. If you look at the details of it, I don't have time to go find that right now, but there it is, N95. All right, so the N95 is what you want or better, but they're all sold out almost everywhere. That's what's kind of scary, I guess. It might be, Gene, you were talking about potentially making sure they went to the medical staff. Is that right? Or
last night, luckily a week ago, my wife, we were taking our dogs to the dog park, and on the way back, we were going by the Home Depot. And she said, like, we need to get the mask now. And she's very intuitive, tuned into God all the time. So we went in and got the masks. There were we got what they had left, which was enough for us. And we thought, well, I was telling her, if this really hits and you have roving gangs and that, and I have seen the troop shipments of tanks and things, and there's many channels showing that, I believe that's Trump getting ready for, if there are massive riots or insanity or gangs trying to get into people's homes, they'll keep, if they have to lock down a city or even put it in martial law because you have Antifa and all this stuff trying to do what they always do, then they're ready to deal with it. But in the meantime, you know, you need to have protection and within your house, and it's not a castle. My house is not a castle. So I have windows and doors and more than one, and there's only me and my wife and our 2 dogs. So I was going to take, if required, my good neighbors, both very devout Christian people, on each side of me into my own home, because we have years of water and food and weaponry and all of that stuff. So I would have them come in and help them. And so I thought we should get more masks. We went to Lowe's last night after the dog park. They're not only sold out, and the guy there said one guy had a cart. He took 90 of them off the shelf that they had. They had 90. He took them all. And I said, is your supplier you get any more from supplier? Said, we contacted our supplier and they are no longer supplying to us anymore. They're only supplying to hospitals and medical facilities. We went then to 2 different Home Depots, stopped at Vitamin Cottage and got the elderberry Honey Gardens elderberry immune boost, and then and a few of the essential oils for my Magellans. Then we went to 2 Home Depots. They're sold out as well and told us the same thing. Then we went to Harbor Freight. They were sold out and told us the same thing. Then she went on Amazon. They're sold out with no supplies coming back in at all, as far as they know.
And that's why I was showing you that the $49 for this mask, if they can get these to you, I think they said they only have so many left of these. You can get 50% off plus the 10%. So that might be a way to get a mask that you can't get right now.
It looks great that
I'm just not sure about the shipping. Did you see anything about the shipping time, Gene? Sorry for interrupting.
No, I didn't see the shipping time. It just said express delivery. I don't know what that means. It did not give a specific, but you can get the 3 suits. We got 3 full suits, we call them my 20 years in the Navy and submarines. Anti-sea suits, where if you have radiation exposure because you're on a nuclear submarine, you have some kind of radiation leak, everything's covered. You have to have gloves, complete coverage. So you put the gloves on first, then you put the suit on so it seals, then you tape up your sleeves, your neck, you put on your boots, you tape up your boots, then you put on your mask, you tape that around that, so that when you take that off, you literally shower with the suit on, and then you outside and wash it all off, and then we have big hot air dryers that dry us, and then we peel the suit from inside out, and everything goes in a bag so that you're completely not touching the surfaces with yourself. Somebody peels the suits of the people working in the contaminated area, they're completely isolated too, and everything's peeled off and put in a bag, and then the bags are destroyed. And that's how you do anti-sea. And the full suit that they have on that site is very excellent.
All right. So just to let you know, this whole deck that has all these, food storage is the last thing. You guys know that. Oh, I needed to let you guys know, this is bad news, is that my supplier, my Patriot Supply, has been inundated with 100 times X the amount of food that they normally sell. And I think the water filters as well. So they've now got a pop-up saying it's a 6 to 8 week potential delay. So that is bad news. But they're still saying you better get in now and get first in, because every food company is going through the same thing. So when you come to get storage food, go here and get in line, I found one that you can get faster from Gene. Gene talked about this. This is a link, I believe, to.
I sent you 2, Rick.
Yeah. Wise Food Storage was one.
Yes.
And
Wise,
then
again, big, huge containers. They're 25-year shelf life.
Right, I don't know why it's not giving me it's giving me this cursor that's not clicking on things, but I would click on it if I, but I think this was like still a couple weeks out, but that's better than 6 weeks. And then I didn't check the Wise one, didn't have time before we came here live.
They do have express shipping. They used to have, I haven't ordered from them.
Yeah. Oh, this one is good. I mean, it's very expensive though. It's way more expensive than my food, and it's also like $200 for express shipping. It was really.
And then that
really
second
crazy.
link is where we got most of our 5-year food supply, Rick.
Okay.
Do you have that link up?
Yeah, the link's not working for some reason.
Okay, let me
I don't
see
know what happened. I don't know what happened to
pull it
my.
up. Hold on.
Oh, there it is. Oops. Now I just got a bad link in there. That's my problem. So I will fix that. So I'll try to get. Obviously, everybody backstage can grab this right now. It's V8 of this file. You'll have this and a lot of other links to everything. I'll fix that link and get V9 up here shortly. And then I'm getting my web person to put this whole thing on front stage on a health tab. But I'll get these links for the coronavirus stuff in this video and or on blessed2teach.com's show notes. I'll probably do both because of the urgent nature of this. So
okay, Rick, the other place, and you can get them through Augustin Farms. It's
yeah, it's right here. I got it right here.
Okay.
Right, Augustin Farms, right there.
Yeah.
So I have the link there that
and
I'll
they're not
fix.
as expensive as the Wise. So, for example, a 30-day supply in an 8.5 gallon watertight container, 25-year shelf life, is still more expensive than your original supplier. Is $299, essentially $300.
Sorry about that. I got to fix some of these links. I just put this together right before I came on the show. So I'll fix these links and get this updated on V9. We're way over the hour. Apologize, guys. I knew we had enough for 3 shows here because we could have done a show on Kirsten and we had a show on Gene and then a show on all the links we have here. But I wanted to kind of get it to you as soon as possible. I hope you guys appreciate what we've done. Kristen and Gene, thank you so much for everything. Before I wrap up, though, I just want to see if you guys had anything else that you wanted to emphasize or talk about.
With that Gene's MMS, which I sell on my site also, I was doing it the wrong way. I was throwing 3 drops of the hydrochloric and the other thing, into liquid, into water. But
what's your site? What's your site that we need to go to?
Cirstenw, CIR, like just in my picture, you'll see Cirstenw.
You're just talking about your YouTube channel has links. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah. So if you go to Cirstenw right here, I want to make sure everybody knows how to get to Kirsten. Go follow her. They've got her completely suppressed, just like everybody else. Right. But there she is right here. Kirsten, Cirstenw. No spaces or anything, just Kirsten W. If you go look at her site, and so you're saying that inside of the videos that you put the links.
Yeah, on the description I put the links for the MMS, Gene's MMS from Steve at KV's LLC. What you have to do is you have to take 3 drops of the hydrochloric and then 3 drops of the other, and you have to mix them together and then put the liquid on top. I was tossing 3 drops into liquid with the other. I don't know if that works, but whoa, it really dried out my hair really badly. I was like, wow, my hair has never been this dry before. So the best way is to mix it before you put the liquid in, like 3 drops of one, mix it with the other, and then it comes to a really nice color, and then you put the liquid in.
And you're talking about these 2 things?
The MMS kit, correct.
Yeah. So what you do if you get the 25% HCl for a mild
28, right?
And then the soda.
This is HCl right here. The 4%, is that right?
No, 25% or 28%.
Gene gets the high percentage. I just get 10% because that's what Steve told me to get. But Gene gets 25.
Yeah.
So aren't these the 2 correct ones, Gene?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 28% sodium chloride, part A.
Right.
With the hydrochloric acid 4%, right? Part B.
Right. And then you mix that 1 drop to 1 drop.
Right.
And if you have a mild infection or you have flu or cold or sore throat or food poisoning. It's mild, 3 drops and 3 drops in a shot glass, and it'll turn a light green.
Oops.
You want to have a fan going on in the room, like in the bathroom with the fan going. And when you see it turn green and bubble, that's ready. It only takes about 20 seconds. Pour in distilled water, fill up the shot glass, chug it, fill it up again, chug it, and then drink some fresh distilled water. You want to have some food in your stomach for this. And then after a half an hour, it only lasts in the body half an hour. Then you want to start drinking water heavily because it's dehydrating. What it breaks down into is 5 salts and 2 water. So you see there's more salt than water there. So like Kirsten said, it'll dehydrate you. Like your hair will get really dry. Your skin will get really dry. So what I do is after half an hour, I chug 36 ounces of water in 2 18-ounce shots. And then half an hour later, the water will be out of your stomach. And then you can do the MMS again if you feel you need to. If you go to Jim Humble's book, Humble Like Humble Pie,
Right.
Master Mineral Solution, it has all the different protocols. And
I know how I got this upside down.
Can I say that, like Jim says, you have to drink a lot of water because not only get your hair really dry, but also it wrenched my back out really bad. I'm still suffering from it because I didn't have enough water. Yeah.
Yep. So the water is very important, and you can listen to people using it. Used to be able to. It may have been all yanked offline, but years ago I listened to somebody who's been doing it for Lyme's disease for many years, and you could hear the dehydration in her body, and her hair looked like straw, and her skin was very dry. And I noticed when it saved my life the first time. I got up to doing 25 drops every hour and a half in that mode I said. And what I did, because I was doing those massive doses, because I had every parasite known to man and then some, as well as walking pneumonia, black mold coming out my skin, no metabolism anymore. I wasn't warm in a 110-degree room in a sleeping bag made for Mount Everest, 78 below, and wearing ski clothes. And so I got up to 25 drops every hour and a half, and I was drinking 64 ounces of water after the half hour, every hour and a half. And I didn't get dehydrated. I went to the bathroom a lot. But other than that, I was fine. And so, again, people say, you'll see all over the internet, it's bleach, it'll kill you. As far as I'm concerned, knowing chemistry, having taken chemistry for when I went through to get my degree in Chinese medicine, you have to take Western medical, and I took chemistry and all of that. It's 1 oxygen different, like hydrogen peroxide is 1 oxygen different. And in that hydrogen peroxide, when it's 35%, do not spill that on yourself. Be very careful. Wear the latex gloves and do it over a sink. What I do is I pour a little bit from my bottle into a shot glass, and then I use my eyedropper to put it in my 8 ounces of distilled water for that cleanse. Then I carefully pour it back into the bottle and store the bottle in the refrigerator. If you have it, children, keep it away from the children. It's very caustic. 1 oxygen difference is massive difference. So it's not bleach, but for me, since it saved my life twice and my dogs twice each, I don't care. And if you look at what they do for cancer, they use chemotherapy. That's mustard gas. They come in anti-seize to offload that and give it to people. That was used to kill people in World War I. Then they use radiation therapy, and we all know what radiation therapy. You can look at people, look at the stats for the treatments for cancer. If you don't get treated, you typically live 28 years with severe cancers, other than pancreatic cancer, which is a quick lethal thing. And then if you get the treatment of chemo and radiation therapy, you typically live 5 years, and you have all your hair fall out from the treatments. A lot of times you get bone and head warping. Like if you look at the testimonials on the floor of Congress where parents were showing with their kids and their heads all warped out and their jawline and their bones are all, and they can't walk and they're in wheelchairs. So you can, again, follow your own guidance and your own understanding. But for me, it's something I've used for over 20 years. So do what you feel called to do. But with what's coming, and if it is what's coming and what most people believe is coming and what I think is coming, then you need to be prepared. It could be nothing, like some people say. But I would rather it be nothing and be prepared, or than be horrendous and do nothing and watch people around me that I love, or even myself. I want to stay and help people as long as I can. I don't need to leave my physical vessel to be one with God at this time when everybody needs me, and I don't want to see my family do the same.
Okay.
So you're
okay.
perfect. Thank you, Rick.
All right. We need to wrap her up here because people don't watch really long videos, and we're way long now. So
yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much, Kristen. Thank you so much, and we'll end with Psalm 91 real quick, right? So I wanted to find that real quick. Let me read this. It says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will resist in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, 'The Lord is my refuge,' and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent. For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against the stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent, because He loves me, says the Lord. I rescue him. I will protect him, and for He acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." Psalm 91. It's a great suggestion. Great suggestion there, Gene, to actually show that.
Thank you. And you can see how that speaks to what we are. God, like I keep saying, God has our back.
Yeah, God has our back. And when we talked about the 3 most important things to do, in summary of this, is number 1, get right with Jesus, guys. That is the most important thing by far, right? That getting right with Jesus is, I mean, He protects people in the lions, and He protects people in the furnace. And if He has a plan for you, you will not be touched by anything, because He decides what's going on. Number 2 is get healthy. Obviously, just do things to make yourself healthy. Proper supplements, proper exercise, all the things about washing your hands, all that type of stuff. Thirdly, get prepared. Make sure you can be in your house for multiple weeks at a time without leaving and having all the necessary equipment. All right, with that, we're going to pray and end up here. Thank you so much, Lord. I just pray for a blessing on Kirsten and Gene, and for their great knowledge and information will just continue to flow, and you'll be able to just get out the information you want to get out to other people. Lord, I pray for a blessing on everybody who's listening to my voice right now, that they and their families will come to know you. They'll actually put Jesus as their Savior, as their refuge, as Psalm 91 talks. I place that all of us will do that and understand how this virus cannot tackle the Lord Jesus Christ, that faith is the biggest protection that we can have. And Lord, thank you for that. And we say these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Gene. Hey, with that, guys, I love you, and we're going to wrap it up. Here we go. You've just listened to the Blessed Teach Show. You're now empowered with the truth. Don't miss the edited short B2T clips on a new channel called B2T Clips. A big thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and PayPal. You are truly appreciated. For the links to these sites, as well as links for show notes, Backstage with Blessed to Teach, training courses, and more, visit blessedtoteach.com. That's blessed with the number 2, teach.com. God bless, and be sure to go empower others with the truth.